Several times in the prophets, John the Baptist was prophesied about. Did you know that? Now you might be saying to yourself, I've never read Malachi or Isaiah and seen John the Baptist being prophesied about. Jewish people in the first century had an expectation that Elijah, the prophet, was going to return in the days leading up to the coming of the Messiah.
The people hold me to be a prophet. Some say Elijah himself.
Jesus actually confirmed this and told his disciples that this had already come to pass, but it wasn't Elijah who they saw. In other words, that wasn't a literal thing that Elijah was going to come back from heaven. It was that the prophets were foreshadowing someone who would come in the spirit and power of Elijah. Jesus actually confirms this for the disciples explicitly in Matthew chapter 11, but let me just read to you really quickly how the Old Testament ends, so you get a full picture of what Jewish people were thinking in the first century when they were expecting Elijah to come as a forerunner before the Messiah. Malachi chapter 4, verses 5 and 6 say this: Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the great and awesome day of the Lord comes. He will turn the hearts of fathers to their children and the hearts of children to their fathers, lest I come and strike the land with a decree of utter destruction. This is literally how the Old Testament ends, with God promising to send Elijah before the great and awesome day of the Lord. Now, in Matthew chapter 11, Jesus confirms that John had been Elijah who was to come before him. And as they went, Jesus began to speak to the crowds concerning John. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John. And if you are willing to accept it, he is Elijah who is to come. That's who John the Baptist was. He was the fulfillment of the prophetic picture of Elijah coming before the Messiah to prepare the way for him.